Good morning. It's Wednesday, January 4th, 2017, 10 o'clock. I call to order and see that all three county commissioners, Sean Sikora, Ed Hawkins, and Tom Bloom, are here. I ask that you rise for a moment of silent meditation, and then we will pledge to the flag. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 3, since no one is a president this time, anyone can nominate any individual, and I would like to move to nominate Ed Hawkins as president for the year 2017.
Thank you.
I'd like to second that nomination.
It's been properly moved and seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. You get the gavel.
Thank you.
Okay.
I would like to welcome Commissioner Sikora. I've been asked many times, what's the new commissioner like? So even though it's not on the agenda, I feel it would be appropriate to allow him to speak and tell him a little bit about himself to the public. John?
I appreciate that, Ed, and I'm pleased to be here. A lot of people have been also contacting me and say, who are you and what are you about? So you can rest assured that my main focus is the people of this county. I think that I bring a skill set to the county commission that could be of use. Currently, I support the Department of Energy as a contractor and have done so in 22 years. And if in that capacity, I've done everything from work in the warehouse all the way up to the highest managerial positions for a number of different companies. So I'm very familiar with a lot of different aspects of running a business, and I think I can bring a lot of that skill set to the county. I've also, before my current career, I've done some work for the state. I've worked for the Department of Highways. I've also worked for the ABC Commission before they were disbanded. So I have some familiarity with working with state government. This is my first foray into county and city government, but I'm hoping to bring just a fresh perspective, and I really appreciate the current commissioners and Commissioner Callan helping me, bringing me up to speed, and I'm looking forward to doing some good things for the people of this county.
Thank you. All right. First of all, we have the rules of procedure for the management of the regular meetings of County Commission. What is done is to set the parameters for small meetings. I would like to, with your permission, set this proposal for discussion at work session next week, which we could go over these as well as discuss the various board appointments that we have to do.
That sounds fun.
Okay? All right, good. And Renata, consent and approval, our county administrator.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have 18 exoneration listings this morning for $4,145.37. No minutes to approve. Vouchers for general county, $163,754.76. Coal severance, $3,999.05. Magistrate court, $56.50. 911 cash, $1166.46. Camp Muffley, $12,490.89. Mason-Dixon Park, $201.19. Assessor's valuation, $1458.89. Purchasing card vouchers for general county, $18,626.72. 911, $118.18. Home confinement, $4,224.97. Camp Muffley, $82.74. Mason-Dixon Park, $32.72. For a voucher total of $206,213.05. I have no budget revisions to approve this morning. Position vacancies for boards and authorities. Farmland Protection Board, the Board of Zoning Appeals for the Western Planning District, and we have fiduciary orders for January 4th, 2017.
Move for approval.
I do have one question.
Yes. Go ahead and second it, and then we can discuss.
I second it, and I'd like to have
Yeah.
discussion. If at all possible, I'm, again, trying to understand and getting to know. I'm a details person. I like to see the details. Do you make this available prior to the meeting so that I can go over it?
I usually don't get most of the information until like the afternoon on Tuesday.
Okay.
But we can try to do whatever you would
Okay.
like.
Yeah,
as
we
far
can
as-
talk about that in our
Okay.
regular meetings discussion, but yeah, again, just to get up to speed, I'd kind of like to
Sure,
review the information
absolutely.
rather than just approving it from, being blind, so,
Okay. All right, it's been properly moved and seconded for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next, are there any introductions of any new employees? I don't see any listed, but I see various individuals here. Okay, we have none. Next, comments from the public. We will now open for comments from the public.
Just like last year.
Hearing none, we will close comments from the public. Colleen and Grants. Colleen Coon. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you guys?
Very good, thank you.
I have a grant contract with the Hazel Ruby McQueen Charitable Trust. We received $25,000 from them. All you need to do is sign it and I
Well, good. Was this specifically?
It's for the Camp Muffin Pool.
Okay. For information, we did prepare and submit a proposal of request to the Hazel Ruby
Right.
McQueen Foundation. So may I have a motion to allow me to sign?
Move that the president may sign.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And thank the Hazel Ruby McQueen Foundation for their contribution to Camp Muffley Pool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any others? No. Correspondence, Renetta.
We have an email that I received from, it was actually forwarded to me from Holly Childs, from the Development Authority. Star City received or sent an email to her regarding their placement on the Development Authority board. Normally that would be the mayor. He has decided, and with city council, to nominate Dominic Claudio, who's a city councilman for Star City, to be their representative on the Development Authority. So you would just need to confirm that.
Okay.
Move to confirm that Dominic Claudio will take the place for Star City.
Second?
Properly moved in second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, good. Next, we have the presentation by Renetta of the County Commission Year-End Report for 2016.
I'm just going to highlight some things off of it. It is open to the public if anybody would like a copy of it. We will start in January. Of course, Eldon Callan was elected president of the year 2016. The commissioners attended the first Community Leadership Forum of 2016 at the WVU Coliseum, hosted by the Morgantown Area Chamber of Commerce. Delegate Joe Statler gave an outlook of the upcoming legislative session. We did the second and third readings for the proposed revised billing ordinance for the volunteer fire departments, and it was adopted. The town of Star City requested a modification of the construction contracts and project plan for the Star City TIF. In February, we opened the Board of Review and Equalization on February 1st. Any citizen who was not heard during this time period but applied for review will be heard in October during the Board of Assessment Appeals. Former HSEMA and MECA 911 Director Mike Wolf gave a report on the winter storm Jonas that we had. The commissioners attended the annual Waco legislative meeting in Charleston, where they met with legislators from all over the state to discuss items for the 2016 legislative session. Levy orders were submitted to the commission and approved to be placed on the 2016 May primary ballot for the Mountain Line Transit Authority, Parks and Trails, Fire Protection, Public Libraries, Youth Baseball, and Botanical Gardens. In March, commissioners attended the County Commissioners Association of West Virginia Legislative Conference in Charleston to meet and discuss various priorities for the county commissions throughout the state. Budgeting process began with representatives from various agencies as well as elected officials appearing before the commission to discuss the requests. We had the second Community Leadership Forum of 2016 hosted by the City of Morgantown at the Marilla Center. where the WVU Greater Morgantown Safe Communities Initiative gave a presentation. In response to the RFQ that was advertised in January, the commission interviewed the top 3 firms for the Courthouse Square project. On April the 1st, the commission was among other honored guests at WVU baseball, opening Big 12 play with a win against Oklahoma State at the ballpark. We did a legislative wrap-up session here in Morgantown for counties in the North Central West Virginia region to discuss how priorities set by the Commissioners Association fared during the 2016 legislative session. The commission sponsored the 3rd annual Monongalia County 8th grader essay contest to celebrate National County Government Month. On April 20th, the students took an active role in running the meeting after reading their winning essays. All essays submitted to the county were sent to the County Commissioners Association to participate in the statewide conference. On May 4th, Commissioner Bloom attended the premiere of the documentary Ageless Friends at the Netherlands Embassy in Washington, D.C. Primary election was held and 4 out of the 6 levies that appeared on the ballot passed. Let's see here. Second interviews were conducted with the top 2 firms for the Courthouse Square project, and the commission passed a resolution in support of the Route 2 I-68 expansion project. During the meeting on May 25th, the commission unanimously adopted the levy estimate for the general county fund in the amount of $31,473,854, as well as the coal severance fund in the amount of $160,000. On June the 2nd, the commission held a special meeting to lay the levy for the 2016-17 budget year. Members of the commission and the staff attended the Morgantown premiere of the documentary Ageless Friends at the Metropolitan Theater. 19th, commissioners and staff looked on as the West Virginia Black Bears won their season opener 12-2 at the Monongalia County Ballpark. Mike Paul, Monongalia County Floodplain and GIS Coordinator, debuted the newly launched GIS Partial Viewer website to the commission and the general public. The commission selected Mills Group for architectural and engineering services for the renovations to the Courthouse Square. The City of Westover in July hosted the 4th Community Leadership Forum of 2016 at the newly renovated Westover Community Building on Riverview Avenue. Budget revisions were approved for the general and coal severance funds to account for any carryover monies from fiscal year 2016. And the commission approved the request by the Morgantown Area Chamber of Commerce and Greater Morgantown Convention and Visitors Bureau to place the brunch bill on the November 2016 general election ballot. In August, request was made to the commission that Sunday hunting on private property be placed on the general election ballot in November. After hearing from several members of the community, the request was approved. Commissioners reviewed and approved a collaboration agreement with WVU that provides for the payment of revenues related to property owned by WVU and leased to certain private parties for commercial purposes. Commission approved various resolutions and orders dealing with the Mon County Development District No. 4 University Town Center to refund existing bonds and increase the bonding capacity for Phase 2 of the project, the West Ridge Business Park. Coordinating Council on Homelessness invited the Commission to join with them and many other groups to create a downtown task force to address the issues of loitering and panhandling in the downtown area. In September, a short ceremony was held at Mason-Dixon Historical Park to dedicate the new flagpoles that were installed by members of the county construction and maintenance staff. The Commission welcomed Frank Devano, Monongalia County School Superintendent, along with several members of the Board of Education to give a summary of the upcoming excess school levy on the November 2016 general election ballot and to ask for the Commissioners' support in their efforts. The Commission hosted the 5th County Leadership Forum at the Sheriff's Department. Mason-Dixon Historical Park welcomed William J.R. Petsko as the new superintendent. The Commission approved the donation by the Monongalia Historical Society of a log cabin to Mason-Dixon Historical Park. In October, we opened the Board of Property Assessment Appeals to continue hearing taxpayer concerns that were carried over from their applications in February. Bow Park of Morgantown presented an intergovernmental partnership agreement between Bow Park, West Virginia University, and the County Commission to further develop the riverfront park for recreation and the arts. The opening and operation of the locks on the Mon River throughout the summer were funded through donations from the Monongalia and Marion County Commissions. Along with UMRA, the plan to continue opening the locks for recreational purposes will be continued into next year. Funds from the West Virginia Waste Coal Producing Counties Grant Program has been pledged by the Commission to the project, since 10% of each grant award is required to be used for economic development. a bond authorizing order issuing no more than $6 million for the Mon County Development District Number 3, Project Plan Number 2, Maple Drive Improvement Project for the widening of Maple Drive. As requested by Sheriff Al Kisner, the commission approved up to $20,000 to aid the department in purchasing body cameras for the deputies. In November, commission met with Mills Group at their waterfront office to review preliminary plans for renovations to the courthouse square project. Consideration approval was given for the loan agreement between the commission and Cheatview Public Service District in the amount of $150,000 to move a water line that is affected by the West Virginia Department of Highways Easton Hill project. A public review meeting was held by the commission and Mills Group to present a proposed plan for the courthouse square renovations. Several members of the public attended, and overall the response to the design was favorable. The Monongalia Historical Society was approved to be used as a pass-through entity for anyone wishing to make a tax-deductible donation to Courthouse Square. And the final Community Leadership Forum 2016 was held at the Core Community Center and hosted by House of Delegates member Joe Statler. In December, a deed was prepared and signed by President Callen to transfer ownership of the building formerly known as the Smithtown School from the County Commission to the Smithtown Community Association. Commissioners from the North Central West Virginia region met in Fairmont to discuss needs and goals that are common to each county. The inaugural meeting was moderated by Senator Roman Prezioso with a presentation by John Deskins, WVU College of Business and Economics, on the economic outlook for our region. Later that afternoon, the commission joined other commissioners and legislators from the region to discuss the upcoming legislative session. During the December 28th meeting, the commission entered into a lease purchase agreement with the Mon County Development Authority for the former Magistrate Court building to be used as an incubator space for new businesses.
Thank you. We were busy. Do we have any unfinished business? Okay, we'll move on to new business. First of all, discussion regarding revenues received by the West Virginia State Tax Department for the wine, liquor, taxes, and video lottery sales.
Mr. President, if may I asked to put this on the agenda, and I also requested new Sheriff Perry Palmer, Chief Tax Collector Kelly Palmer to be here, and Al Kisner, so we could come up with a plan of action. And I want it very clear that as you look at the revenues, what we are looking at is, and do you have copies? I don't know if you have some copies, so I make sure that. Okay. As you can see, it's broken down in the last 5 years. Do you have a copy? Okay. I'd like that also part of the record too. You could see it's broken down into 3-month periods, and we were averaging $88,000 during certain periods, and we are now down to $12,260. In fact, as I said, we went through a football season in October 2013 to March 2014 as a dry county. We received no revenues. My concern and question, and we have been looking at this as a commission, concern is there's such a discrepancy that we would like to get information and questions answered from the state tax office. And before I go on, I want to explain that this has been going on for a period of time, and Kelly, you might want to explain what you've tried to do too, so it isn't that we have just let it go. So if you might want to explain.
Sure. Back in July, you all had raised this same question.
Yes.
And at that time, I called the state tax department, and I was told that that was proprietary information and that they really don't give that information out as to who has filed, who has paid. But they would check with the tax commissioner and would get back to me. Well, it's 6 months later, and we have not heard back from them. And with the change in administration, I would assume that we should probably just wait.
Well, I'd like to move forward on it because of the drastic. I mean, if you look at, we were averaging $200,000 between the October to June periods of every year, and at that one period, we ended up having only $1,800. Now, I do realize what they're probably going to say, in that maybe some of the other cities were supposed to get the funds, but I believe, yeah, go ahead, I can see you.
Good, yeah, because I noticed, and this is goes back to what, 2013?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And when we saw that
2000.
large of a decrease and that we didn't have any deposits for those 2 periods, we called, and that's what it was. They said that someone was reporting improperly. So I would assume that it's someone who is reporting county, and it should have been city for the.
And I would like
increase
to
in the city,
verify
but-
that. Yeah, and that's
But they
what.
would not,
Yes.
they would not disclose who that was. They just said that that's what was happening.
And I just find it hard to believe as you look at all the other areas, even Granville, as small as they are, they're bringing in the revenue similar to what the county is bringing in. And Morgantown, they're drinking very well in the city of Morgan. I guess the concern is, I believe it needs to be answered. And not only that, but we also had talked about expanding it to the video lottery because we need to get some questions answered. They're not giving it, and I do want to move forward with this with you all to, and your permission of how we want to resolve this, but by not only sending a letter, but I'm willing, if we don't get a response, to consider a FOIA, because that is our next step. But I believe the citizens have a right to know. I mean, this is very frustrating to me. I mean, I would like to say that we're doing such a great job on lowering the alcohol intake in the county, but this is just not realistic numbers. And I think, if they made that $160,000 mistake during a 6-month period, there has to be something. I mean, there had to be something. Yes, Perry.
Would it be possible for us to talk to Phil Magro and have him request a FOIA to the state to get that information?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Well.
Well, it's like this. To my knowledge, there's been no appointment of a new tax, correct?
Right.
Now, let's at least, I agree with what you're saying. We don't want to let down on this, but let's at least get the person that's going to be in charge before you go asking of something of this nature, such as a FOIA. all right?
My only concern
Well,
is
he
that
should
he may
make-
not know the information, and I
Well-
believe the other person hasn't officially stepped
Right.
down, so he's still working.
I understand.
I would like to still send a letter requesting the information first.
I don't see a problem with
Okay.
sending a letter. If you wish to make that into a motion, that's.
Yeah, I'd like to move that we send a letter from the county commission asking for an understanding and question of the discrepancies in accounting of these last 5 months of revenues.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that as long as it's, we're on an
A re-
expedition
a
to try to
request.
find
Yes.
out,
Yes.
to try to find out why, and
Yeah.
then we don't want to start off with a hammer and a FOIA request.
Exactly.
So,
And
yes.
that's my feeling as well. Okay,
Yes.
it's been properly moved that we send a letter of request to the State Tax Department requesting the information. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Would it be,
I was just going
Yes.
for clarification, who's the we?
well, what I was gonna ask, could we send a letter with saying it's coming from us, but also in connection with your office too, to get information? Is that, Perry, is that, okay? Okay, thank you.
See that it's done.
Yes, working together on that.
We have submitted the consideration of approval for the holiday schedule for the upcoming year, which does include one day into January 1st of 2018. Is there any discussion upon what is proposed? It pretty much echoes what was last year's holiday
This is
schedule
Based off of the state schedule.
and the state schedule, yes.
Move to approve the holiday schedule.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Consideration of appointments to the Monongalia County Planning Commission. Do we have a submission?
Yes. Richard Colbank and Joe Panico were members currently serving. They both are wishing to continue. I have letters stating so. What's your wish?
They are good members of good standing. I serve on the Planning Commission, representing this county commission, so
I move that we put the two in
Second.
recommendations.
properly moved and seconded that these appointments be made. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Lastly, on new business, a consideration of adjustment of the mileage reimbursement for privately owned vehicles from 5.54 cents to 50. I believe there is a decimal point that's off here.
Yeah.
No, it's 53.5 cents.
53, yes.
Yeah.
We'll strike the zero on it has a .0535.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, okay?
Zero.
So it would be 53.5 cents effective January 1st as per the GSA guidelines.
So moved.
Move with a question. Do you approve this each year, or do you just follow GSA whenever they
We
change?
usually just follow
When they
GSA.
change,
yeah.
I think the motion and what was voted on before was that if they would ever amend it at mid-year, that we would just
Right,
follow
Amend.
what they've done.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm fine
All right,
with it.
it's properly moved in second for the adoption of this mileage rate. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Yes.
You skipped over that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
See.
Yes, C. Carden, I went out of order. Thank you. To consider the dates for the Board of Equalization and Review meetings in February of 2017 in accordance with West Virginia Code, Chapter 11, Article 3, Chapter 24. This also is a presentation. This would allow us to meet February 1st, February 6th, February 8th, February 10th, February 15th, and February 21st.
Move to approve and have discussion.
Okay. Second?
Second? Okay. All right. discussion?
Just clarification that people understand we're required by law to have 6 meetings. Is that the reason why?
You're required to be adjourned no more than, or recessed no more than 3 days at a time.
Right. So that is why we're following the state law of why this has to be done.
You have to meet on the first.
Yes.
Yes.
So this.
You have to
follows
meet on the
through.
first. The
Yes.
first meeting is to open, and then.
Right.
Okay.
And yeah, and that's why, just for clarification, if people say, why are we doing this? Because this is what
Any
we're
other
required.
discussion?
No.
Okay. It's properly moved in second to adopt this. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Next, reports from elected officials. I'm not going to name you all by name. I'm sorry. Okay? Mayor?
I would just like to welcome Mr. Shakur to the county commission. Looking forward to working with him for anything we may have, and at the same time offer my condolences.
Is that for working with us or because of his job? Both.
Any other?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Sheriff.
On behalf of me and my chief, we'd like to welcome Sean as the new commissioners. We had the opportunity to meet Sean on the campaign trail, and feel he's going to do a good job, and look forward to working with him, and also congratulate you, Ed, on
Thank you.
being nominated president.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barry.
Anyone
Well, I
else?
guess I'll speak for myself. As the chief, but welcome.
And I'll speak on Mecca, welcome. But I do want to address an issue with the commission today. With the snow season coming on, last year, if you recall, we started, when we had the big snow, we started where we got a list of contractors that would be available to us for emergency situations. And we kind of had to rush through that because it was like a 2-day thing where we were trying to plan all this. So I would encourage the commission now, let's start looking at this, let's get the information out, see if we can get contractors that may be interested.
Would you care to bring a proposal before us?
Yes, and that way we can get a
Yes.
list prepared, and that way we're a step ahead in case we do have another one of those snow events like we had last year. We are in the process, we have updated our emergency contact list with commissioners, city officials, the hospitals, WVU, DOH, of course Bobby and his folks. But so we've updated our list and prepared our emergency list, but that is something that I think we definitely need to look at and have prepared.
I'd like to commend you as well as Mike from last year on all that you did. This was very well, if people don't remember, this was a very well coordinated effort that went on regarding the community of Monongalia County, not just commission, but literally all the entities that were involved. So if you would prepare, and we're in the middle of the season, we haven't had anything dire, so let's
Let's hope we don't need it.
well, I understand, but as soon as possible, if you could put, and we'll put that on the agenda.
Also, I also want to thank you because we changed the idea last year to inform the public And I think because the public was informed, they actually listened to us, stayed off the roads, and it was very successful. So I want to congratulate you, and I look forward to that again. Hopefully we don't ever use it, but it worked very well.
Yes, and last, I'd just like for the commission to know, the big fire over in Westover at Frank's the other day, wow, that was one of the bigger ones, wasn't it, Mayor? Having a lot of heavy smoke in that fire. The volunteer fire departments, along with Morgantown Fire Department, did a tremendous job.
Good.
They had a lot of assistance from Mon EMS, Star City EMS, law enforcement. The VFW in Westover really stepped up. They opened up their upper hall so that we could get Red Cross in there, get the victims from the fire in to get them set up with Red Cross. So they did a fabulous job. But it was really that, you look at that and you always hear the community effort. That was truly a community effort. But those firemen, they were there for hours and hours in such heavy smoke too. That seemed to be the big difference to me, that smoke was very heavy and very thick. And, I can't say enough for those volunteers, what they do when they go out there. And also with the Morgantown Fire Department coming over and assisting. But I just wanted to make the commission aware of that they just did a fabulous job.
Thank you. And thank goodness there was no loss of life.
Yes.
Okay. Property, I understand, but still a great job. Any other reports from elected officials? Hearing none, we'll move on to reports from county commissioners. Sean?
No, I don't really have anything to report yet.
Okay.
So give me a pass on this first one.
Okay. Tom?
Yes, just two quick things. One, I do want to congratulate and welcome Mr. Sikora as the new county commissioner, and I look forward to working with you with the success that we've had in the past, and I think I want the public to know that he has been quite involved the last several weeks, meeting and working with us. So we were trying to bring him up to speed. So I appreciate his support in coming in and getting the information. I'm also going to ask that I get permission from the county commissioners. 4 years ago, when WVU closed the track to the public, I was fortunate to be the representative for the county commissioners to go talk with Oliver Luck, and we worked out an agreement. I don't know if you've gotten the phone calls yet, but WVU has decided to close the Coliseum for anyone walking, and for liability and other reasons. And what I'd like to do is meet with Shane Lyons, or just talk with him, see if there are any options that we could come up with. And again, it's not a negative. It's let's try and work out if there's something we can do. But that is a major concern. I've probably gotten 24 phone calls from that. I don't know if anyone else. So I would like to go, but also be representative of all three of you when I speak.
I have no problem.
I have a question, Tom. Is this
Yeah.
because of the construction, or is
Well,
the
the-
construction done?
No, the construction's done. I guess the way the new setup now is
Configuration.
the configuration, and that they have all taken supposedly all the classrooms out, that it's not really open to the public. So I believe that, they're saying it's like a facility that doesn't need people inside, but I'd like to talk with them, see if maybe we could do something during the work hours or something.
Literally
like that.
no harm in asking.
Yeah, we can ask.
And did they still make the shell building available?
No, they don't, no. The
Well,
shoveling
maybe
is not, there is really no place right now for the cold weather, and I just don't want that be the first step, and then the second step would be then you can't walk around the Coliseum on the outside. So I just want to make sure that it's been an important part of the town-gown relationship, and let's see if we can try, and I'll report back if that's okay. Okay,
Yep.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the commissioners for their confidence in electing me president. We look forward this year to a continuation of progress, the West Ridge development, Courthouse Square rehabilitation, the repurposing of the old magistrate building, and looking forward to economic development and job creation and general continued growth in our county. We will try and endeavor to be a partner of cooperation and collaboration. And lastly, stated in Commissioner Callan's last meeting that during the course of the 2 years, I had developed not just a working relationship, but a friendship. And I hope I know I have the same thing with Commissioner Bloom, but I hope that I get the same feeling at the end of the next 2 years that it is a friendship, not just a working collaboration, and welcome.
Thank you.
The best part of the meeting, move to adjourn.
I'll need a second.
I'll second that.
Meeting is adjourned.